Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode with your girl Audrey Codner from ACG Math Tutoring. Hopefully you guys are doing well this evening. It is a little after 7 o'clock, but guess what? No matter what, on math, we're on the dot. So what we are going to do for basically the next week is really hit on those back to basics. So things that's going to help people with their TEAS test, with their GED, with their ACCUPLACER, anything of the forms, that's what we're doing. All right, so right now, things on my end is acting wacky badoodle, but hey, not at all surprised. But no matter what, we're gonna keep on going. So, as you guys coming in, go ahead and tap it up. And I'm gonna see if I can find my TikTok again. All right. So they're having trouble playing my video. Okay, so I won't be able to read comments. That's okay. Alright, so my laptop is just like new. So if you are new to my little channel, if you are trying to get your GED, or maybe you just have trouble with math in general, or maybe you're someone that's going to try to pass your TEAS test, or maybe you're in a class like college algebra and you're about to take your final exam and you're slightly freaking out, this is the live for you. Okay, so we break down concepts step by step. So if my way of teaching is taking a little bit too long and you're used to like just getting the answer just like this is not the live for you. That's not a problem. Thank you for chiming in. But we're really going to hit hard on some of the basic concepts. So if you just want to sit along, you can sit and play along. Now, very first thing is simplifying the fractions. I noticed in the last few lives, every time we have to simplify fractions, a lot of you guys get stuck. So we're going to try to get in our simplified game on. So for example, we have 2 8s. Gonna keep it short, gonna keep it small. So with 2 8s, we want to take a look to see what do they have in common. So what multiplication tables is the 2 and the 8 in the same multiplication table? So yes, the 1s will work, but then the 2s will work. I know some people right away want to say 4. No, okay? 2s are not found in the 4 times table. Okay, 4s are found inside the 2s times table. So the greatest, or the common factor that we can use, is going to be 2. Now, when we simplify, we're making our fractions smaller. Okay, we're trying to find that equivalent. So we know that 2s will work for the 2 and the 8. So all we're basically doing is dividing that common multiple in both the numerator and the denominator. So 2 divided by 2 will give me 1, and 8 divided by 2 will give me 4. So the equivalent to 2 8 is going to be 1/4. And you're probably saying, well, how did you know it was the 2s and not the 4s? Well, if we go into the 2s times table, we have our 2, we have our 4, we have our 6, and 8. Okay, for the 8 times table, I know, well, I shouldn't do a times table. Sorry, not times table. I should be doing factors. So it should be factors, not times tables. I'm just getting frantic because I can't see comments. So annoying. Anyway, can't control that, right? So factors of 2 is 1 and 2. Factors of 8. So where would I find 8 in the times table? I will see it in the 1 times table, the 2's times table, the 4's times table, as well as the 8 times table. So what number do they have in common? So it will be the 2's. Okay, so that's why we're using 2 to reduce our fraction. All right, TikTok's not liking me right now. All right, so let's shoot over. And you're gonna have to be patient with me because I cannot see any comments. So yeah, all right. Here's one that they always use in any kind of test. All right, so we have 10/90ths, okay? So 10/90ths, they can be reduced. And I'm gonna show you what the longer way and then the shorter way. So when I look at, I wanna see the multiples of 10 and the multiples of 9. So I know anything ends in 0, it's always going to be either in the 5 times table or in the 10 times table. So we're looking for the greatest common, okay? Because I know we can find our 10 in the 1s, we can find it in the 2s, we can find it in the 5s, and we can find it in 10s. Okay, 90s, we can find in the 1s, we can find in the 2s, we can find it in 3s, we can find it in the 5s, we can also find it in the 9s and the 10s. So we want to get the greatest common, okay? I know some people will say, oh, I can do 2, but we got something higher. Oh, I can do 5. Oh, we're going to do something higher. We can do 10 because 10 will be your greatest common. So what you can do is you will divide. Remember, I told you there's a short way and a long way. This is the long way. We can divide both the numerator and the denominator by 10, which this will end up being 1/9. Another way of viewing it, and this is the shortcut, they both end in 0, right? So since they both end in 0, just eliminate the 0. 0, 0, eliminate that. So that will give me my 1/9. Okay? So if both the numerator and denominator has 0s, you can cancel it out. Yes, so get them 1/9. All right. Let's try, oops, this other one. So I got my 12/16. Okay, 12/16. What does 12 and 16 have in common? Okay, I can't see the name. I think there's an Anthony. Yeah, I can't see the comments. I think I just see a 4, and I can't see names. I think, hold on, I think that's Big Al. That said 4. And Nike says 4. Okay. All right. Okay. So then Big Al's saying it's like 3/4, and then I can't see anything else. I know, I just want my app to work on my computer, but it's just not doing it. It says having trouble playing this video. Refresh and try again. Well, I refreshed multiple times. What do you want me to do? Delete that one. Okay. So, greatest number that they have in common is 4. Even though we have 2 and 6, they're even numbers. They're ending with even numbers. But the highest that they have is a 4. If you just did with 2, I'll show you that in a second. So now 12 divided by 4, that gives me 3. 16 divided by 4 will give me 4. So I have my 3/4. Forgot to box this one too. Now, if you by chance did the same thing, but you chose 2 instead, $12 divided by 2, that'll give me 6. 16 divided by 2, that'll give me 8. That means you're going to have to divide it once more by 2. So then 6 divided by 2, that'll give me 3. And 8 divided by 2, that'll give me 4. So you're going to get the same answer. You just have to do it multiple times, okay, instead of the one time. So when you get into fractions like this, don't fret. Don't be like, oh God, I don't know what I'm doing. This is crazy. It's okay, okay? All right. I feel like I'm missing a lot of stuff because it's really not even trying to let me show my video, which is crazy. Because it's really not even trying to let me show my video, which is crazy. I don't know. All right, flying blind here, guys. Flying blind. All right. So, questions on those. Not like I can see your response. Questions on these. Okay, because I noticed in the last couple lives, a lot of people were struggling with doing the simplification. Okay, all right. Oh, I see Brenda. I see yours. Nope, it's easy. Okay, I see that. Let's double tap. Okay, hey Jess. Oh, Michael's here. All right, good. Pog's here. Okay, all right. Liking the lives. Thank you guys. All right. Now, let's get it up to, now I gotta see over here. See if we can get up to 10 while you guys are doing this, to 10K, if we can. That's a massive double tap. I'm gonna put one more up here just so we can kind of challenge ourselves just a hair. So, okay, almost there, almost there. Yay! Now it's coming on my head. Yes! I can see you guys! I can see you now, Michael. Yes, you're saying, or Jess is saying, let's go for 50K. All right. Mad tapping. All right. Nike saying 12. Brenda, 12. Okay. Dorlisa. Anthony saying 12. Oh, I didn't even see the first name. Now I can. Big Al saying 12. All right. So, we have our 48. We have our 60. Okay, so if we think, actually, this is what I can do, because I did print something out for you guys. Zoink. Okay, so, printing out the old school one. Here we are. So we are looking for 48 and 60. So here's 48, here's 60. And I notice both of them are in the 12 times table. So for those that says 12, good job. All right, so that means we are going to divide both the 48 and the 60 by 12. All right, so old school it. Here we go. Here's my 48. I know that 12 times something. Let me slide it over because our students cannot do this. So we got 12 times 4 will give me my 48. And then 12 times 5 will give me my 60. So that means this up here, we got our 4. And for my denominator, we got our 5. So we have 4/5. Yes, September. I know, right? Bringing this. Drolisa. Oh, Drolisa. Okay. Thank you. All right. Now, for some twisted reason, some people will say, okay, well, there's 48 60ths. I notice I can do by 6. Okay, so this will give me 8. This will give me 10. But then you would have to divide again because 8 and 10 are both even numbers. So now I know I can divide again to a 2, which will give me 4/5. So you'll get this a little bit longer than the other. So remember, if you're doing this as a timed test, do what makes sense to you. Okay, so if you feel like, oh, I know that 48 and 60 are divisible by 6, all right, kind of divide by 6. All right, I got 8/10. Oh, both of them are even. If your numerator and your denominator are both even, try to divide it by 2. Then you'll be able to get your answer, okay? But it will be cute and huge for you to understand your multiplication table, all right? Okay, so that's simplifying, okay? That's just a simplification. Now, if I want to add or subtract fractions, all I know is I have to have what? What do I need when I add and subtract fractions? Okay, Nike saying common denominator, Pog saying LCM or LCD. Pog saying LCM or LCD. Okay, they're LCD. Okay, not quite PEMDAS, Seth. But we definitely need, as Nike says, we need a common denominator. Okay, when you do have a common denominator, let's go with this example, because I started seeing this a lot with a lot of my tutoring sessions. 210. When you do have a common denominator, when you're adding and subtracting, you don't do anything with your denominator. You keep it, which is to the 10th, but you are actually adding the numerator, which gives us 5/10. Now, after you add or subtract, you always look to see if you can simplify. What does 5 and 10 have in common? Okay, Big K saying that, Big Al saying that, Steven saying 1, other than 1. What else do they have in common? Okay, we got our 5, Brenda. Thank you. So we are going to divide that numerator and denominator by what they have in common, which is 5. So 5 divided by 5 gives me 1. 10 divided by 5 gives me 2. Okay, so we have our 1/2. So common denominators, pretty much easy. Okay. All right, so that we have that 1/2. But when we don't have a common denominator, we have to make it into a common denominator. So let's take a look at this one. Let's say 2/3 plus 6/15. So when we don't have a common denominator, oops, okay, there we go. We need to make them into a common denominator. And we do it through multiplication. Yes, Vic, there we go. My LCD is going to be 15. So which Big Al's saying? We're going to do something with the 3. Okay, make the denominator 2/3 into a 15. Yes. So this is where you get confused. Not a problem. So we're looking for the largest, the least common denominator. So this is what I'm doing. If we have our 3 times table, we have our 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, okay, 18, we'll just stop right there. For the 15 times table, we have 15, 30. What is the lowest number that they have in common? Okay, the lowest number that they have in common will be 15. So in order for me to combine these two, I need to change this denominator of 3 to a 15. We won't have to do any changes to the second ratio because it already has a denominator of 15. So this 6 just carries down. But for this 3, in order to change to a 15, we need to multiply it by 5. And whatever we do in the denominator, we have to do in the numerator. That's key. So if you're multiplying 5 in the denominator to get me 15, I have to multiply the numerator by 5 as well to get, as Vic says, 10/15. All right. So now from here, we're going to carry over what we just did up above. We're going to keep our denominator, which is 15, but we're going to add our numerators. So 10 plus 6 will give me 16. Okay, there we go. So now from here, we got an improper fraction. Once you solve, take a look at your answer choices, okay? So we get so used to, all right, let me hurry up and do the whole entire problem. No, after you do part of it and you notice that, okay, my common denominator had to be 15. Right away, I'm going to the answer choices because remember, your test is basically multiple choice. So I'm looking to see which ones have a denominator of 15. If 2 of them have a denominator of 15, awesome. That means your answer is going to be one of those 2. Then you would have to go to the Then you would have to go to the multiplication of the 5s. And then you would add the numerators. Once I get to here, take a look. And then you would add the numerators. Once I get to here, take a look at your answer choices, because sometimes they'll leave it as a mixed number fraction. But if I have to do it as a mixed number, this is when you're going to have to divide. 15 can go into 16 one time and leave a remainder of 1, which we're going to put over our denominator, which is 15. Okay, so we see how many 15s can go into 16 without going over. That's where the 1 comes from. Minus 15, that will give me this one as a remainder. And you always put your remainder over your divisor, which is the 15. So I'm going to write the word or in between. So don't go ahead and just right away get your improper fraction and make it as a mixed number, because you never know. You might just it might be this as an answer choice. So you're doing extra work and wasting time, because remember, this is a timed assessment. All right. Okay, let's try another one. See if I can make a subtraction one. Okay, we can do 6/7 minus 3/8. What would be my denominator? What is it that the 7 times table and the 8 times table both have? And if you need this, let me pull this out for you. So here's the 7s and 8s. What do they have in common? There's no 24 in the 7 times table. Okay, so I'm seeing 56 from Pog, Vic 56, Nike 56, Big Al 56, Cynthia 56, Jess 56. There you go, Danielle 56, Brenda 56. All right, so here we go. Here's the 7s, here's the 8s. Right here, we have 56 for 8 times 7 and 56 for 7 times 8. All right, so that's going to be my new denominator, 56. So this time, we are going to have to change both of these denominators. For the first one, what am I multiplying by? These denominators. For the first one, what am I multiplying by? Okay, so for the 7s, good. Big saying 8, Big Al saying 8, good. And what denominator? There you go, Pog. We got 8 over 8. So that means my new numerator will be what if I multiply by 8? Will be what if I multiply by 8? There you go, Vic. Vic saying 48. Okay. Vic saying 48. Okay. There you go, Steven. 48. Big Al 48. Cynthia 48. Hey, BB lesbian. Welcome on in. We take everybody. Welcome everyone. There you go. All right. Now, to change our 8 to a 56, what do I have to multiply here? Okay, good. So Pog is saying 7 over 7. Vic saying 7. Big Al saying 7. Cynthia saying 7. There we go. Well, thank you, Miss Kickbutt. Appreciate that. How are you? Good. So my new numerator, 7 times 3, gives us 21. All right. Good, Vic. 21. There it is. Danielle, 21, 56. Good. So now we get to keep our denominators. So we're not subtracting the 56. We're just dragging it over. But we're subtracting the numerators. What would I get? Okay, so Vic is saying 27. Cynthia is saying 27. Okay. Hey, Creation, how are you? Okay, Nike's saying 27. All right. So Jade, hey Jade, welcome back. So Jade's got 2756. Yes. Okay, so we keep the denominators. Once the denominators are exactly the same, we're just doing the operation for the numerators. Okay. All right, so since 27 is odd, 56 is even, is there anything other than 1 that 27 and 56 have in common? Yes or no? You can do a thumbs up and a thumbs down. Okay. There you go. Saying 3 for your eyes only. Okay, not really 3. Because if I try to divide 56 by 3, I'm going to get a decimal. All right. I know it's tempting because of the 27, but it has to work for both. Okay. So we got no for Brendan, no for Vera. Hello, Vera. Welcome in. Okay. 2, it can't be 2 because 27 is odd, 56 is even. It has to be even for both. So Danielle's saying no. Okay, there you go, for your eyes only, no. Big Al, no. Nike, no. Jade, okay. So Jade can't be 2 and 2, 20, 56. Not possible. Okay, so can't be broken down. Plus, it's not an improper fraction. It's a proper. So, can't be broken down. Plus, it's not an improper fraction. It's a proper fraction. So this is our answer. Okay. So no matter what, if you're adding or if you're subtracting, the key thing is you have to have a common denominator. Okay. You have to have a common denominator. So that's addition and subtraction. All right, so let's see if we can get up to like 27, if that's possible. 26. I'll do 26. 26K to get ourselves ready for multiplying. I'm going to do multiplication. And then I was having a crazy thought, really crazy thought today. I know, here I go, thinking again. Based off of a lot of people, I literally only have 9 slots left for next week. So we started off with 22 slots. Now I got 9 slots left. So if you are currently taking college algebra, or if you are like maybe a student that you need a packet completed, like your summer reading packet, make sure you reach out to me, because I have, like I said, only 9 slots left, and most of them are on Sunday. I just got your message, and 1:30 is perfectly fine for me. I'll message you after the live. So it's like there's a few slots, but most of them are going to be on a Saturday or a Sunday. And I think I have a couple Wednesday and Thursday. I have like 11 a.m. and Tuesday I have like a 5:30, and Monday, oh yeah, Monday's taken care of. Sorry, I got 8 slots left. So if you are interested in that, please reach out. Okay, yep, you can do it for GED, you can do it for ACCUPLACER, just looking at all kinds of things. Hey Janice, how are you? So if anything, just to help you with, getting you ready for that next part. Okay, so I know there's a lot of people that are taking their final exams with college algebra either on the 30th or the 31st. So that's roughly like 2.5 weeks away. So, and if you need some assistance with it, come get it. Okay, definitely come get it. All right, thank you guys. You did awesome. All right, so if we have, we're going to multiply fractions. So 9/25 times 5/27. And I know I'm using the X for multiplication. Trust me, I already cringed. Okay. All right. I'm okay. Actually, today was a really good day. I went for a nice little walk. It's amazing what walks can do. Yes, for your eyes only. Yes, Janice. There we go. Okay, now, the one thing I don't want you to say you can really cross-cancel, it's really cross-simplify. The reason why I say not cross-cancel, because if this was an equal sign, you are canceling. Totally get that. But since we got this multiplication, you're really cross-simplifying. But anyway, we noticed that here, for the 9 and the 27, they have what in common? Okay, yep, cross-reduce. There you go. All right. So what do they have in common? What is the greatest number? There we go. Because I could use 3. If I do 3, I'm going to get 3 here, and I'm going to get 9 here. And then 3 and 9 can be reduced again. So 3 works, but 9 is so much better. Because 9 divided by 9 will give me 1. And 27 divided by 9, that'll give me 3. Okay? So 3 can work, but then you just have to do it again. For me, I'm lazy. I just, right to the point. But now, look here with the 5 and the 25. Okay? They both have what? 5. There you go, Janice. Good. And Big Al. Good. All right, so they have 5. So that means 5 divided by 5 will give me 1. And 25 divided by 5 will give me 5. Now, after we did all our reduction or simplification, now we want to multiply straight across. So when I say straight across, I mean horizontally. So 1 times 1, not to insult you, is a 1. And then 5 times 3, that will give me my 15. So yes, for my not adding, multiplying. Okay, for your eyes only, multiplying. Okay, so that's where you got your 1/15. There you go, Seth. Janice, 1/15. Good. There you go for your eyes only. No problem. You finally got it right. Good. There you go. You got it. Sometimes you just gotta dust it off just so we can get it. All right. Good. So let's try another one. Okay? Or the reason why I don't want to show you the other way, because it'll be too long. The other way would have been multiply and then simplify. Guys, seriously, we're not multiplying 25 and 27. Okay, you're either doing a high school equivalency test, or you're doing a test to get into the military, or you're doing a test to get into community college. They're not going to give you something that crazy. They're going to try to give you something that you can simplify. So they're going to see if you can identify that you know how to cross simplify. That's all they're going to do. Okay, so it's not going to be crazy. Yes, we only cross multiply with multiplication. Yes, with multiplication. That's the only time you do that. Yeah, sometimes it's easier to simplify first. The reason why your numbers won't be so big. Okay, so you won't have to, because go ahead, try and multiply 25 and 27, and then have fun reducing that to see what 45 and that will do. Yeah, no, I'm not doing it. You know my laziness. I'm not going to do that. So if I give you... sorry. My page just flipped on me. All the spirits. All right, we'll keep it simple. So if we say... 4/5. 4/5. I'm going to put my dot in there so you can get that. 4/5. And let's say 3/4. Why not? Let's keep it simple. Okay. Hey, Danny. How are you? How did I get the 1/15? Well, after we reduced, this 9 turned into a 1, and this 5 turned into a 1. 1 times 1 gives me 1. When we reduced the 25 with the 5, that gave us times 1 gives me 1. When we reduced the 25 with the 5, that gave us 5. We reduced the 27 with the 9, that gave us 3. Then 5 times 3 gives us 15. Okay. Yep. All right. So you're saying cancel out the 4s. Okay. For your eyes only saying 3/5. 4s. Okay. For your eyes only saying 3/5. Okay. Vic took it to the extreme. For your eyes only saying 3/5. Okay. Vic took it to the extreme by multiplying 4 and 3, which gives her 12, and 5 and 4, which gives her 20, then reduced to give you saying 3/5. Okay, Janice already got you with the 3/5. Good. All right. So since we're multiplying, always look for the diagonals, and then right here. Okay, you basically have one in the numerator, one in the denominator. They both have 4s in common. So now all you have to do is just bring over what's left. What's left. You have your 3/5. Because I can make that 4 into a 1, I can make this 4 into a 1. 1 times 3 gives me 3, and 5 times 1 gives me 5. So it gives me an answer of 3/5. Okay. Well, you're doing good, Vic. Thank you for the multitasking. All right. Okay, questions so far? All right. So we did actions so far. Okay, questions so far? All right, so we did add, let's do division, So division kind of reminds me of when we're subtracting polynomials. So let's say we got 2/9 divided by 4/3. think a lot of you probably know exactly what I'm about to say. Okay. All right. So, yes. There you go, Big Al. Okay. So KCF. Okay. We're going to keep this 2/9. Let me keep it with the same colors. To make life easy, we're going to change that division to multiplication because they're inverses of each other. And then you're going to flip the second fraction. So when you flip that second fraction, it's actually going to be 3/4. So now you're going to do what we just did with multiplication. See if you can cross simplify. What would you get for your final answer? Yep, keep, change, flip. Yes. There you go, Janice. See if you can reduce it. See if you can simplify. All right, so Pog is saying 1/6. Nike's saying 1/6. Okay, do we agree? Okay, Jan's saying 1/6. Steven's saying 3/9. Vicky's saying 1/6. Otto's creation. Who's got my name? Someone's stealing my alias now. Okay, so Mike, we got 1/18. Okay, Daniel got 1/6. There, Mike's saying 1/12. Okay, so let's take a look. If we could do this one of two ways. Again, we could multiply straight across. If we do, 3 times 2 gives me 6. And 9 times 4 gives me 36. So I can multiply straight across horizontally and then try to reduce. So 636, they have 6 in common. So I can divide that by 6 and divide this by 6. So 6 divided by 6 will give me 1. And 36 divided by 6 will give me 6. Which hence will give me my 1/6. Another way that you can do it we can cross simplify. So for the 2 and the 4, what they have in common is 2. So 2 divided by 2 will give me a 1. 4 divided by 2 will give me 2. Then over here, we can cross simplify the 3 and the 9. 3 divided by 3 will give me 1. And 9 divided by 3 will give me 3. So what is left is 1 times 1 and 3 times 2. So 1 times 1 will give me 1, and 3 times 2 will give me 6. So either way, you're going to get 1/6 as your answer. Of the reducing? Okay, so the reducing part, you're always looking to see what they have in common. So my 2 and my 4, what they have in common is my 2 times table. Because in the 2 times table, I can see 2s and I can see 4s inside. So what I do is I divide both of them by that times table, which is 2. So 2 divided by 2, that's where this 1 came from. All right. 4 divided by 2, that's where this 2 came from. Okay, Netta? So once we get that, we're looking at the 3 and the 9s. Okay, so we're looking at the 3 and the 9s. What number does 3 and 9 have in common? They're both found in the what times table? You okay, Netta? All right. And the 3's times table. Thank you, Big Al. Thank you, Stefan. So we would divide. There you go. So we would divide the 3 by 3. That's where the 1 comes from. And we will divide the 9 by 3. That's where this 3 came from. So now, once we reduced everything, we just need to clean this up. So we have 1 times 1, that's the numerator. Then we have 3 times 2, that's the denominator. 1 times 1 gives me 1, and 3 times 2 gives me 6. So you always want to use the greatest common factor so you can reduce it. So what number do they both, where are they found? They're factors of what? Okay. All right, let's try another one. So let's say 14/5 divided by 28 35. Hello, Selena. How are you? I'm okay. How are you? You all right? Oh, so sorry, guys. Got a little aggressive. Okay. So 14/5 divided by, oops. Sorry, I'm just trying to be helpful, but my phone is like new. Sorry, I'm just trying to be helpful, but my phone is like new. All right. Well, thank you for sharing the live, Emerson. Appreciate it. Okay. Okay, yes, Big Al. Here we go. Talk about I was struggling with these for like 3 days. We're good though. Ready. Okay. All right. So take a look in between the two ratios. It's division. So that means we are going to keep, change, flip. Okay. We're going to keep that first ratio. So that's our 14/5. We're going to change division into multiplication. And then we're going to flip the second fraction. So we have our 35 over 28. So now from here, my suggestion, always look on the diagonals to see if you can reduce. Is that possible? You can leave it as a fraction, Bridget. Yes. Okay. So let's take a look. Okay, I know the easiest one was the 5 and the 35. So the 5 and the 35 has what in common? There you go. Danielle, you're scaring me because you're in my brain. There it is. She's like, yes, I'm in there. Okay. So 35 divided by 5 gives me 7. 5 divided by 5 gives me 1. All right. Now we're looking here for the 14 and 28. What do they have in common? Big Al's telling me 14. Seth is saying it's 1/2. Okay. Vicky is saying it's 7. Danielle is saying it's 14. Okay. Nike is saying it's 14. Okay. Vic switching it up to 14. Vic switching it up to 14. Okay. Emerson saying it's 14. All right. I guess I just like more work. I know, right? I know. But see, that's the thing. If you did reduce it by 7, you'll get your 2 up here and you get your 4 down there, but then you just have to reduce it again. Okay? So really no harm, no foul. Just make sure you just pay attention to see if you have to reduce again. But since we got our 14 divided by 14 is 1, and 28 divided by 14 is 2. So now we just need to clean this up. So that means my numerator, which we have 1 times 7, and we have our denominator, which is 1 times 2. If I really wanted to, I could cancel out the 1s. Doesn't really matter, because then we still have 7/2. Okay. Again, once I see 7/2 and I feel comfortable with that, I'm looking at my answer choices. And if I see a 7/2, boom, that's my answer. Click it, bubble it, do what you gotta do, and then move on. But if you start seeing mixed numbers, what would this be as a mixed number? Oh, bam, here we are. Again, you're in my brain. So now you have 3 and 1/2. You have 3 and 1/2. Hey, Ohio, how are you? All right. Okay. Because how many 2's can go into 7 without going over? That will be 3. Because 3 times 2 gives me 6. 7 minus 6 gives me 1. So I have a remainder of 1, and I always put it over my divisor. And my divisor was 2. So that's why I always put the word or in between. Okay, so don't do the extra work unless you have to. Okay, for these type of tests, I know it's hard because we got it so programmed in our brain that you have to show all your steps. You have to show all your work. But when it comes to these type of tests and the timing of it, look, shortcuts, little tidbits, okay? Oh, good. Mastering fractions. Awesome. All right. Excellent. Love it. All right. Perfect. So that's basically the key for division. Okay. Keep, change, flip. Okay. You do not want, and don't have to write this down. Okay. I'm going to write something, but don't write it down. So, like, if you ever have to do, like, 3/4 divided by, I don't know, 2/7, okay? No. just no, okay? This looks crazy. So, instead, do your keep, start with your numerator. So, that would be 3/4. Change division to multiplication. And then flip the direction of your denominator. So instead of 2/7, it's going to be 7/2. Okay? And then from here, you can see if you can cross simplify, which we can't. So that means you're going to just multiply horizontally. So 3 times 7 will give me 21. 4 times 2 will give me 8. And majority of the times when you see an odd and an even, it's usually the only thing they have in common is 1. But always check before you assume. Okay? And then if you want to do it as a mixed number, how many 8s can go into 21 without going over? So that will be a 2. So then you have your 21 minus your 16. That will give you a 5. So your remainder will be 5 over 8, which is 5/8. Good. All right. Oh, yes, I do remember you saying that. She taught them the long way to solve fractions. Oof. Why? Yeah, it's been interesting, teacher. I know. Just show it the shorter way. Yes. Like, exactly. Keep it simple. Don't have to get too crazy, okay? I mean, I would say continue using some of the terminology, all right? Because eventually when you get into like full-blown Algebra 1, Algebra 2, like high school math, yeah, it would be nice for you to know the terminology so we can have a discussion. But all in all, don't get too crazy. So speaking of not getting too crazy, let's try mixed numbers. Alright, so we're going to go into mixed numbers. So if I had 5 1/9 plus 2 7/9, what would be my answer? Okay. Oh, awesome. I'm glad you're going back. Nice. Okay. Brenda, what do we not understand? Talk to me. I just saw your thing. Lots of skip counting. Yeah. Okay. So I'm seeing 7 8/9 by Vic, 7 8/9 by Danielle. Brigitte is saying 7 8/9. Pog, 7 8/9. Mixed numbers? Okay. All right. All right, so we have 7 8/9. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes seeing it horizontally will throw things off. If I did this vertically, you might be able to see it a little bit better. So if I said 5 1/9 plus 2 7/9, I'm noticing that my fractions, they both have a common denominator. When they both have a common denominator, I don't change it to improper fractions. Sometimes I leave it as such. Like I almost split them up into two separate worlds. The whole number worlds and the fraction world. So if I keep the whole number world, that's 5 plus 2. So that gives me 7. Now, adding the fraction world, they have a common denominator. So we're going to keep it with the 9. And all we have to do is add the numerators. So 1 plus 7, that gives me 8. Here's the thing. When your fraction, this is a proper fraction, so you're good. This is your answer. But if you had an improper fraction, if I may, where'd that paper go? Here we go. If I had an improper fraction, let's say if I had, after I did everything, I had 21 tenths. Okay. So if I had 21 tenths, I know I have to pull out a whole out of this. Actually, there's 2 holes in here. But if I do, I need to pull out like a whole number of 10. A whole So that'll be 10 out of 10. The reason why, because my numerator is a lot bigger than my denominator. So that's telling me that I have a whole that I need to pull out to make it into one whole number. But when I pull that one whole number out, for this case, I'm going to have 11 tenths. So that's telling me I got another whole that I need to subtract out of here. So when I subtract 11 minus 10, that's going to give me 1/10. So you want to keep subtracting whole numbers out until you get a proper fraction. So this is actually, if I may, it's going to be 2 out of 1/10. Which we could have done so much quicker because I noticed I can get 20 out of there, right? So 20 divided by 10, that'll give me 2, and then what was left is my 1/10. I can think of it that way. Okay? So, Ohio? Oh, okay. I see what Ohio's doing. I was like, wait, what? How'd you get exponents? But I see what you're trying to do. Okay. So, let me explain again. So when it comes to fractions, you have the difference of whole numbers and you have the difference of fractions. So if I said I had 18 12s, okay? It's almost like when we were reducing. So it's kind of like I know there is a whole, a 12 out of 12 that's stuck inside of that 18. So if I subtract whatever my denominator is, because 12 divided by 12 gives me one whole. So 18 minus 12, that will give me 6. But this 12 out of 12 that we just pulled out, that is one whole number. But now, 6/12, that is a proper fraction, but it can be reduced. And it can be reduced to 1/2. Okay? All right, so we got 1 and 1/2. So when the numerator is bigger than the denominator, you have to subtract the whole number. Yes, Ohio. Yes. Yes. Okay. So it's almost like you're basically just doing, if I may put it, you're just basically doing what you would normally do for mixed numbers. Okay. Yeah, it's very similar because it's like, all right, how many 12s can go into 18 without going over? 1 12. Then 18 divided by 12, that will give me 6. And normally it would be 6 over 12. But 6 12s can be reduced to give me 1/2. All right, good. Good. Now, of course, I'm going to be a little more. What happens if our denominators are not the same? So I'm going to do it vertically. So you know, if you ever see it horizontally, you could always rewrite it vertically because I think we're so used to seeing numbers up and down. So I got +1 and 4/9. Okay, now don't freak out. So remember what I said earlier. Let's treat this like two separate worlds. You have the whole number worlds and you have the fraction worlds. So we need to deal with the fraction world. Right now, when I look at the denominators, they're not the same. But what number does 5 and 9 have in common? Big Al is so on top of it. It's like we got our 45. Because sometimes when you're trying to find your common denominator, you can just multiply them sometimes. Sometimes that works. If I multiply 5 times 9, that's another way you can get to 45. All right, good. Nice, Nike, good. Bridget, good. Vicky, nice. Netta, awesome. Okay, Ohio, we got you. So now, let's think. I need to multiply this 9 to the 5 to get that 45 as my denominator. Whatever you do in the denominator, you need to do in the numerator. So 4 times 5, my new numerator is going to be 20. So now for this 5 to turn to a 45, I need to multiply by 9. Whatever I do in its denominator, I have to do in the numerator. So 3 times 9 gives me 27. All right. So, since we're going to just look at this. Let's combine. So 27 plus 20. So we have our denominator. Our denominator stays exactly the same. We got our 45. But all we're doing is adding the 27 and the 20, which gives me, there you go, Selena, which gives me my 47. Okay, remember, we're just focusing. And the reason why I'm adding those two is because that's what we were doing in the very beginning. Okay, if this was a subtraction sign, I would be subtracting those numerators. All right, so keeping with the fraction, what's up with this fraction? Yes, okay. So we have to pull out. It's an improper fraction. Good. The numerator is bigger. Good. Improper fraction. That's it. So we need to make it proper. That means there is a whole number that needs to be pulled out. Okay? I don't want to say ripped out because that's just gross. It needs to be pulled out. So if we notice, my denominator is 45. So that's what I'm going to subtract. I'm going to subtract the numerator and the denominator by 45. This is representing one whole number. So what's left is, 47 minus 45, which gives us a lovely 2. Good. So we have the 2 over 45. Now, this whole number, I'm just going to put a parenthesis in a 1 right here, just to remind me that there's a whole number. This whole number needs to go somewhere. Is it Gaia? Or Gaia? Gaia is saying that it needs to go with our whole numbers, which is correct. Even Big Al, yes. Okay, so originally we had 5 plus 1 gives me 6. But we had to bring this whole number to the party. So that means we have 7 wholes, but we have 2 45s. Okay, this would be my answer. Okay, good. Yes, add to the original whole numbers. There we go. Okay, so here's my thing. Once I figured out the common denominator is going to be 45, right away, I'm looking at my answer choices. Right away, okay? All right, which one has a denominator of 45? Okay, this one does. Oh, and this one does. All right, eliminate the other ones. Let's see what's going on. Then you continue on. And if you notice you had to pull one whole number out, but your denominator stayed at the 45, look at your two answer choices that you got and see which one will give me a numerator of 2. And once you find that, boom, click it, bubble it, circle it, move on. That's it. That's your answer. So sometimes I know we get so consumed because that's how we were trained, that we have to finish it to the end, right? But sometimes we don't have to, especially like the GED or the ASVAB, the ACCUPLACER. Now, if you're currently in a class, you want to show all your work because that teacher of record is grading you based off of your process. So like if you put a wrong answer down, but your process was pretty much spot on, you can get partial credit. So that's why you always want to show your work while you're in class. But if you're taking any of these standardized tests, forget that. Just give it the answer and keep it moving, okay? Just give it that answer and keep it moving. All right. All right. Any questions? Would you like another one like this? I think I could fit it in up here. Okay. Would you like another? Yes, yes. All right. Okay. So another one would be, let me see if I can stick it right here. Just gonna make myself a little bit of room, or a lot of room. Okay, so we have 3 and 3/11ths. We'll do a couple of them. So 3 and 3/11ths, and we'll stick with plus for this one. And then we have 4 and 6/7. I'll do the difference the next time. Okay, so 3 and 3/11ths plus 4 and 6/7. Oh, what state do you live in, Netra? Okay. Illinois? Gotcha. Am I in NY? No, I'm not. I'm in Maryland. But that's the best thing about the internet. I can be anywhere. I used to have students in Cairo, Egypt, and Nairobi, Kenya. So yeah, I'm like everywhere. And then during the school year, I'm in Alaska in 4 homes. And I'm in Texas, California, Washington State, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, obviously Maryland, Virginia, Massachusetts. Almost forgot about Massachusetts. I was in Vermont for a little bit. Yep. Oh, in Maine. I had a student in Maine. Yep. So everywhere. Yes. Okay. Yeah. But it's okay. So, like I mentioned, treat this as 2 separate worlds. Work with the factor worlds. Okay, let's rip that Band-Aid off. So what number, and I think Big Al mentioned it earlier, has common denominator? Okay, Janice, all right. Look at this. Okay, so I'm seeing some 77s. Okay. So in order for that 7 to turn into a 77, I need to multiply it by 11. Whatever I do in the denominator, I'm going to do in the numerator. So 6 times 11, that gives us 66. So now, to change that 11 to 77, I have to multiply it by 7. And whatever I do in the denominator, I do in its numerator. So I multiply that by 7 to give me 21. So since we're adding, we're going to add our numerators. Keep the denominator the same. So it's 77. If I add my numerators, what would I get? Okay, I'm seeing 87, 77's good. 87, 77's, 87, 77's. Nice. So since my numerator is larger than my denominator, that means I have at least one whole that I need to pull out. So I am subtracting what? What is the ratio that I'm going to use to subtract? It's a superpower. Oh, thanks. Okay, so yes, 77 over 77. There we go. 77 over 77. Look at all this good luck. Look at all these sevens. All right, so whatever your denominator is, put it over itself. That will equate that 1. Now, my denominator, gotta twist it a little bit, is going to be 77. Now 87 minus 77, that gives us 10. Okay, how did I get, which one? How did you get the 77? Well, factors of 11 and 7. If I just multiply 11 and 7, I'll get my 77. Okay. Yep. So that's how they do it. So sometimes you can just multiply 11 and 7 and then get your common denominator. So that's where the 77s come from. So in order for me to change that 7 to a 77, I had to multiply by 11. Because 11 times 7 gives me 77. Whatever I do in the denominator, I have to do in the numerator. So that means 11 times 6 will give me 66. Now, another ratio from 11 to 77, I had to multiply by 7. Whatever I do in the denominator, I have to do in the numerator. So that's where 3 times 7, that's where the 21 came from. The 77 from that. Okay. So now, since we're trying to pull, we notice that 87 is larger than 77. So this is an improper fraction. Anytime you have an improper fraction, that means there is equivalent of a 1 whole lodged inside of this. So you take whatever your denominator is and you put it over itself. Because 77 divided by 77, that will give us our 1 whole. Okay. So now we can subtract. Remember, when you're subtracting fractions, you don't do anything to the denominator. So that means the 77 carries over. But then you have 87 minus 77. That gives you 10. All right. Okay. So now 10 77ths, that's perfectly fine. Because the only thing that 10 and 77 have in common is 1. Okay? 10's even, 77 is odd. Majority of the times they're going to have 1 in common. But now we took care of the fraction world. Now we got to worry about the whole number world. So for the whole number worlds, we have 3 plus 4. So 3 plus 4 will give me 7. But wait, remember we factored or we took out 1 whole. So this 1 whole, we need to add to our 7. Okay? Because this is a whole, these are wholes, so we'll put them all together. So our final answer is going to be 8 times 10 to the 77th. Okay. Yep, Selena, good. So add the 1. Good. Yep, so Danielle, it will turn that 7 to an 8. Okay. How are we feeling? All right. We're feeling okay? Feeling a little bit better now? Feeling good, Jess? Good. Okay. Good, Janice. Good. Danielle's feeling good. Selena feeling better. Good. I think we're getting it. Awesome. Where is Bella? How are you feeling? And Brenda, how are you feeling? Gotta practice more? Okay. Okay, you're okay? All right. Then Brenda, how are you feeling? I think it's Brenda's in here. Definitely. And that's what it is. It does. It takes practice. I was back to grade school. I need to brush up. Hey, not a problem, Big Al. We all need. Sometimes we all just need an academic enema and just to refuel, rethink. You know, you can't just go straight to like, oh, I'm going to eat healthy now. Like, no, you got to really clean everything out before you start reintroducing good stuff, right? Yeah. All right. Now, it's just knowing the steps. Yes. And I think with fractions, the key thing is when you're adding, subtracting, you definitely want to have a like term. A common denominator. Ooh, that got me. When you multiply, you can cross simplify. And when you divide, you keep, change, flip. Now, when it comes to doing the same thing but with mixed numbers, split the two worlds. Don't try to consume everything at once. Now, I forgot someone mentioned earlier that, well, should we turn it into an improper fraction? You can do that. Now, let me brush up on that. So let me use that last one that we just did. Okay? So if I wanted to change 3 and 3/11 to an improper fraction, I'm going to stick it right in here. Remember how we can do it. 11 times 3, so that gives me 33, plus the numerator, which gives me 36. So I can have 36 11ths. Then if I change the mixed number for the other one and made it improper, that's 7 times 4. That gives me 28. And then your 28 and 6, that's 4, that's 34. Thank you, Big Al. So I was like, 34? Okay, so that gives me 34 sevenths. Because you always put it around the same one. But see, this is when it gets kind of because now you have mixed numbers, but we don't have common denominators. So guess what we're going to have to do, or you're going to have to do? you're going to have to change this 7 to a 77. And how you do that, you multiply by 11. So whatever you do in the denominator, you're going to do in the numerator. Okay, do you see the problem with this? Now you're going to have to figure out by hand what 34 times 11 is. Okay, that's a 3-digit number. And no one wants to do 3-digit numbers or the results of 3-digit numbers because remember, we can't have a calculator for this. You see now how your numbers get really large? Right, exactly. I know, Ohio. I know. That's why I just feel like I cringe. So if I have my denominator here at 77, that means I have to multiply my 11 by 7. And now I got to multiply my 36 by 7. So it's 424, that's 25, 252. Let me double check. Yeah, not too bad. Okay, I still got that in my brain. And what were we doing? We were adding these two bad boys together. You see how crazy this looks? Like insane. So now your denominator is 77. Now I gotta add 2 and 4. That gives me 6. Okay, 5 and 7. That gives me 12. Carry the 1. 2 and 3 gives me 5, and 1 is 6. And now I gotta see how many 77s go into 626. All right, well, 77 times 3, that gives us 231. No. Yes. That gives me 231. That's not going to work. So why am I doing that? 77 times 8. That gives me 616. Okay, I think that's what it is. So then I would have to divide. So this will give me 8. So what's left over? We have 626 minus 616. So that will give me my 10 over 77. You get the same answer, but you deal with larger numbers. Okay? Yes. So Bella, that's why. If we can treat the whole number and the fractions as like two separate worlds, work out the fraction ones first, because notice the numbers are not so crazy. Okay? Sometimes they do like one problem like this. Yeah, for mixed numbers when they're adding. But are they going to give you something super, super extreme? Not really. They'll probably give you something like this example down here. So they'll probably give you something like that. See what it says? Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it's tough. It's a tough one. I just saw what Nike said. At that point, throw the whole test away because you're exhausted. I know, exactly. Exactly. That takes way too much time. Exactly. So that's why, if you can, my suggestion, split the two worlds up. Worry about the fractions. If you can factor out a whole, factor out a whole. You might have to factor out two whole numbers out of there. That's fine. That'll be a lot easier to deal with. And then just remember to add that number to the sum or the difference of your whole numbers. That's the only thing. Okay? All right. Yes. Okay. All right. So here's another thing. I know there's 45 of us, which is awesome. Thank you so much. And maybe this will be just a great little question. So again, like I said, I've been getting quite a few of you guys wanting some assistance, which I'm like, thank you. Hi, let's go. Let's do this. I'm thinking of, because a lot of people are stressing about the test itself. Like, you know, basically the atmosphere of it. Even though you're going to be in your own homes, because a lot of you guys are not going to a facility. Some of you guys are taking this test as like online. Some people are actually going to a facility. Some people are taking their college algebra credits, their final on the 30th or the 31st. So then I was just sitting here with me, myself, and I thinking, how can I help people in addition to coming here on TikTok? And all of a sudden, here comes the Holy Spirit this morning and said, you are always wondering what to do with those subscribers, because I know a couple of you guys subscribed to my channel, which is awesome. But I'm going to be truthful. I have no flipping idea what to do with subscribers, right? And then it dawned on me, I could do a mock test, like a mock, I know it's not going to be well, ASVAB can use it because of the content. So it'll be great for GED. It'll be great for beginners. It'll be great for anyone that's doing basically Algebra 1 stuff, because that's Algebra 1 with a little splash of Algebra 2 when it comes with the factoring. So I was thinking about setting aside, because my Wednesdays, I feel like every Wednesday night I'm by myself when it comes to my course that I'm doing. A lot of people come on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but Wednesday I'm just like all by myself. And I'm thinking about doing a mock test, meaning the kids need to go into another room. Husband or significant other needs to go away. Like, you are basically sitting your butt down. We can go either on a live. I don't know if I can do a TikTok because I'm not sure if I have enough people, but I have to double check. That you're actually going to be taking a test. So I'm thinking about 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want to do it on this coming Wednesday and next Wednesday, since it's relatively close. And just really give up my normal 9:30 to have that. So you're going to say the doors will open at 7 o'clock. 7:15, I'm going through the rules and all this other stuff. Then you are sitting down and you're taking this practice test. You're sitting in a room. I'm literally just staring at you for like 59 minutes. I'm thinking of 35 questions, because that's what usually you see on the TEAS test, and also the GED. Because ASVAB, it's just like how many questions you keep going. They just keep adding questions until you're at a capacity. And after the test, I'm going to explain step by step how we did those 35 questions. So tell me what you think. That'd be super helpful in your opinion. Have you ever tutored people who struggle in Calc 1 to 3? I do not do calculus. I'm not sure if Robert's in here, but usually Robert, the AP math guy, he's like my go-to when it comes to calculus. Pre-calc I can do. Not this new AP pre-calculus, which I don't know what they're doing. They're just making pre-calc or AP anything. Yes. So definitely, I think you have talked to Robert before. So definitely check with him. You'll be taking your T-test on the 23rd. Okay. Now, if there's anything that you need to tweak over or to think over, just let me know. And then we'll actually put a session together. That sounds scary. The word test. Well, guess what? You're still going to have to take a test, Janice. Like, you're still going to have to take it. Who's Robert? You can do Main Street. I don't think he's in here. I don't think he's in here tonight. Main Street Tutoring. Also, yeah, look up Main Street Tutor. Okay, yes. Thank you, Jess. Yep. All right, you're down with it? Okay. So only do like Algebra 1 through College Algebra? Yes. That and College Algebra pre-calculus is really my thing. Like, if I may put it, my heart of hearts is like Algebra 2 is my jam. Like, I love that stuff. I don't know why. Something wrong with me. It's like a little sick and twisted. Oh, he's going live tonight? Oh, look at him being bold. He's going to try the nighttime? All right. Okay. Yeah. Jeez, why is that up like 4 times? Weird. 5 times. Why is it saying it 5 times? This is so weird. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know why my chat is like doing Main Street Tutor like 5 times. I don't know. Something's weird with this thing. Yeah. So if anything, I'm thinking about doing that. I'm gonna like probably put an announcement on it, see if anyone's down with it, and literally just sit down and you take the test. Like, you take a test. You don't have any distractions, nothing whatsoever, and you take it, and then the following week we'll do the same thing. It might be like a Wednesday thing, depending on how many people want to go into it. All right. So, all day I've been hearing your voice in my head. Oh, poor you. Okay. I don't know. I'm sorry. Now all of a sudden the thing's getting crazy. 1 minute I saw okay, how will we get questions to work out? How will we get questions to work out? I'm actually going to type up, or I'm trying to make like a live worksheet, and there's a link. So when everyone comes in, I will share the link, and then everyone just pull up the link. That's what's happening in that first 15 minutes, so we can get all the logistics done. And once everybody gets the test, then boom, you just sit there and you're just taking it. All right. All right. Are you going to do the test on 1? I'm sorry. My whole thing is all kinds of jacked up because it keeps repeating stuff and I keep missing your stuff. Dealing with simplifying, combining radicals, quadratic formulas. No, actually, that's Algebra 1 now. Combining radicals, quadratic formula, and graphing quadratics. That's considered Algebra 1 now. Are you going to do the test on one of those lives one day? I think I was going to like replace one of my lives with this. So I was thinking, like, if people are subscribers to my, like, anyone can join, but if anybody wants to subscribe to my TikTok, then I can give them like basically a discount with it. Do you know someone who goes over science? Yes. Chemistry or biology? Which would you prefer? If it's chemistry, that would be Professor TK. So I'm just thinking about it. Because if I am going to do it, I might as well do it. And I'm still struggling with what I'm at now. So are you taking college algebra or are you taking calculus? Oh, biology? Let me take a look. Let me take a look. If anything, message me to see if I can find someone that's biology for you. Okay. Awesome. Okay, sounds good. Okay. Oh, wow, guys. 105? Wow. You guys are tapping like crazy. This is amazing. All right, so this is, yeah. So if anything, make sure you reach out to me about bio. I do know a couple of biology tutors. Oh, wait. I do. One's in the Amazon right now as we speak. So, yeah, we're not going to be able to get her. But, she's awesome. But I do know some other people, but I'm not sure if they're on TikTok. But if you do need assistance, I will reach out to them. Just message me, okay? All right. So I am going to probably put some more posts out about that. I'm going to probably mention it again tomorrow. So tomorrow we're going to continue on hitting up on the basics. So tonight we worked on fractions. So guess what we're going to be working on tomorrow? Wild stab. We did fractions today. Oh, wait. I think I saw... Did I see Robert? Yay! Hey, Robert. Yeah, my laptop's all screwed up. Yes. Decimals. Oh, you're taking intermediate algebra? And you're taking college algebra? Yeah, I can help you with that. Not a problem. Yeah, not a problem. Yeah, because I'm helping quite a few, and I think I might be carrying over part of the sale that I'm doing now, because I know when the fall comes, there's going to be some people that need some assistance, and I'll be here. Alrighty? Okay. So, this is what we're going to be doing. We're definitely going to be doing decimals. We're going to be comparing decimals, rounding decimals. Definitely rounding decimals. I know we're all still stuck on that. Adding, subtracting, as well as multiplying and dividing decimals. So that is going to be what's going to be happening tomorrow. And then we're going to get right back to integers. So when I say I'm going back to the basics, I'm going back to the basics. Because these are the little things that will cause you to not get the right answer. Okay, so we definitely need to fix up on that. So again, I'm starting to see weird messages about TikTok. Now, worst case scenario, if anything goes awry, this is where I'm going to be. Okay, this is where I'm going to be. So if anything, go ahead and go over there. If you haven't already, you can subscribe, hit the notifications of when I update anything. If you do like the books, I didn't even go through the whole book spiel, but a lot of you guys already know. If you do like my notebooks that we have with all of our designs into it, all of a sudden I don't want to shrink. I don't know. My thing's acting crazy. I don't know why. There we go. All right, so if you actually like to have your own version of the notebooks, you can. Now, the one thing I didn't show you is we have a lot of the factor sheets. We have a lot of the rules that usually stems with math, just as small little reminders. So if you want your own version of the math notebook, you can go here. Yes, it is here, but I only get that. But if you go to my personal one, you can order yours today, and it'll come in just before school starts. Wow. All right. So as I mentioned, I want to fill up my July. I have 8 slots left. Okay, I have 8 slots left. So if you're currently in college algebra, if you're taking intermediate algebra and you need some assistance, your finals are coming up. Okay, some of you guys have your finals on either the 30th or the 31st. And if you know you've been struggling the whole entire time, hey, I want you to not pay in a way that you're going to pay because you're not going to do well in the class. Might as well just pay me so I can help you to break all these concepts down, so I can show you the little tidbits that sometimes some of the teachers don't show. Because most of your exams are what? Multiple choice. All right. So again, I have it at 47 for 1-to-1 or for your pairs. Anybody that's 3 to 5, you might have a small group of your friends that are taking class. It's 37 per person, okay? Up to an hour. You send me what you want to work on. We break those concepts down. And then I also address those areas that you're also struggling with, like say fractions. And I'll do like a quick little review on fractions as well. So you have that. Okay, we got all this. But people to follow, I think we already mentioned a blessed RN if you want to do nursing, Impact Math 19, T's, ASVAB, and GED. Chemistry, I have Professor TK. I'm going to have to check out bio. If you want to learn the abacus, learning with Lynette. Then if you're pre-K or kindergarten homeschooling, you need some assistance with some of the curriculum, visit Nancy, the online elementary tutor. Then Robert is here. He's done the AP statistics and also statistics for nursing, as well as AP calculus, Calc AB or BC. All right, that's Robert, the AP math guy. And then if you want Read, Math, and Grow for reading for K through 8 or math through K through 5, that is Miss Bridget. Okay, how's that for you? All right. Okay, everyone. Oh, my goodness. You guys are fab. So I'm going to wrap up because my laptop has gone officially off the rails. Like, I can't see any of your stuff. Wait, hold on. I might be able to see it. Honestly, no clue. It's a few days ago in the afternoon. Okay. Multiple choice. Luckily, we have like graph and simplified complex numbers and stuff. Improve. Okay. All right. We know it. Okay. All right. I don't think I'm missing parts of the conversation because my computer's acting crazy. All right, so I'm going to finish the live. All right, and if anything, Robert's going to be live in about an hour and some minutes. So what's the topic, Robert? And Jess, I'm going to see you tomorrow. I'm going to see if I can turn this computer off and turn it back on. Because literally I'm just seeing what I typed in and it just keeps repeating. It's really annoying right now. All right. Okay. All right. Cool. So you're going over inverse trig functions. Yay. All right. Cool. All right, everyone. Have a lovely evening. Make sure you come back. Take a glance at Robert's. And I will see you guys tomorrow night at 7 p.m. where we're going to start tackling a little bit of decimals. All right. So I will talk with you. Have a lovely evening. Be safe. And I'll see you tomorrow. Okay. Bye now.